Good morning. My name's Ray. I'm with Team S.T.E.A.M. and this morning I'm standing out in front of Flash Industrial Painting, getting ready to begin the process of removing all the paint from this old utility bed and getting it painted black. Now, as you can see, there's not a lot of paint left on this. And from the looks of it, somebody painted it in possibly latex. I'm not really sure. Now, I don't really know what year this bed is, but it's getting ready to go on a like a 2016 F250, and whoever painted it last got it in primer, possibly left the primer too long, and then put paint over it that it seems a lot like latex. I've dealt a lot with latex and a lot of different enamels in my career. I've painted a lot of houses, and this seems like latex to me. So somebody at some point either shot or rolled out or whatever this bed in latex just to get it on the road, and as you can see over time, it's all just coming off. All right, well, I got most of it off. This side didn't go nearly as easy as the other side did. Got most of it off the back. I even got more than half of that rubberized coating out of the inside there. And at this point, I need to go ahead and pull this up on flat land. It's facing downhill right now. I need to pull it up on flat land and get my forklift out and get this bed moved around before I pull it out back so I can go ahead and do some sandblasting. Alright, at this point, Felix and I have decided we're going to go ahead and get this guy sandblasted. I'm going to pull these tail lights. As you can see, I've got it up on blocks here now. Got it out behind the building, right where I do all my sandblasting. Now I'm going to go ahead and blast the entire inside and this bumper, and probably not much else. Sandblasting tends to warp some of these big flat panels like this, and if you have the right kind of medium like acorn shells or whatever, you know, you can get away with some stuff. Soda blasting I would never recommend, but for sand, you know, you could end up warping these panels and then you have a whole world of hurt in front of you, which I have done before. So I'm just going to blast everything that's diamond plate inside and back here, and then I'm going to get this guy pulled back inside. Okay, so I've got the back here all blasted. I blasted part of the tailgate there, especially around where the words are, so I don't have to scratch in there. I blasted all of these handles so we don't have to scratch in there. Blasted the hinges. Blasted up under here. Not the entire underside of the bed, but just inside of here and inside of here on both sides. Blasted the front of the trailer. And then I did a bunch of blasting on the inside of the trailer where the undercoater is. And now I'm going to go ahead, now that I've got everything blown off, I'm going to go ahead and get it pulled in the shop. I also got this component blasted for a customer. It's for a different vehicle altogether, but I decided to throw it in while I was already blasting. And there's another part to it too that's sitting on the back of that trailer. All right, well, we got this pulled inside. Now one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to open up all these doors. I'm going to take out all the lights that I can take out, the license plate bracket off of the other side. I'm going to clean up all these rubbers. That way I can attach masking paper to them and mask the inside of this up a little bit so I can paint these jambs when the time comes. We won't be painting the insides of the doors, won't be painting the insides of these at all, but we will be painting the jambs all the way out to where the rest of the black will meet it, because this is going to be a black bed. My pressure washer tore these rubbers up pretty good. They're older rubbers and it tore them up pretty good, every one of them. So I'm going to be replacing the rubbers when I go to put this back together. And as you can see, these are in decent shape when this truck showed up, when this bed showed up. Well, my pressure washer tore the living crap out of them. So I'll have to be more careful about that in the future. That thing's just too powerful for these little rubber seals. And here's the brand new ones that I'm going to replace them with. That way it's no worse for the wear when they get it back. This component's all blasted and in the shop now, along with its lid. And then I'm also going to be conducting a fiberglass repair to the outside of this. And then once a lot of this prep is done, and the sanding is done, I'm gonna go ahead and blow everything off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mask up this trailer. All right, so I'm over here on what would be the rear passenger side. And right here at the bottom of the door, I noticed a little bit of corrosion, a couple spots. So I beat it all in with a shrinking hammer, and I put a fiberglass patch over it on this side. And the same with here on what would be the driver's side rear. Put a fiberglass patch on, beat it in about 1/8 of an inch with a shrinking hammer, or 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch, and then put a fiberglass patch over it. And then back here, all that corrosion got a fiberglass patch as well. All right, now here I am down at the other end of the shop, and I've got these two components placed on sawhorses here. And I've sanded them down completely. Of course, they got sandblasted, but then they also got sanded with DA sanders with 120 grit, and then sanded by hand in the tight spots. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mask this rubber piece up and blow all this stuff off. And then once this is blown off, I'm gonna come down here to the other end of the shop and blow all of this off. Once that's blown off, I'm going to go ahead and go down and prime both of those in beige. Then while that primer dries, I'm gonna come up here, mask off this bed with tarps, come back here, paint the bright orange on those two components, and that's all I'll do for today. And then this stuff can sit overnight, and then I'll get back to it tomorrow. And here we've got the tarps all in place, all underneath the blocks the way I wanted, nice and tidy. Now I can get started on the bodywork. And now that I've got that in primer, I'm going to go ahead and get some orange paint on these two components. Well, here we are bright and early the next morning. As you saw yesterday, I got these items shot. Now I'm going to cover these up with just bed sheets and seal up the bottoms a little bit so overspray can't become an issue, and I'm going to leave them right where they are basically until the owner comes to get them. And I'm going to get back to work on this bed here this morning. And here's all the body work I've laid out here on what would be the driver's side before it's been sanded. And here it is with the bodywork all sanded, glazed, and ready for primer. And here's what would be the passenger side with the first layer of bodywork on it before it gets sanded. All right, as you can see, this is the other side. Now that I've got it all sanded and glazed and sanded again, now I'm getting ready to put some wet sanding primer on both sides. Now when it comes to the next steps on this bed, I'm going to go ahead and sand everything down in 220 and get everything good and flat. And then I'm going to clean out the jams, mask up the jams, and then prime and paint basically everything that's going to be black. All right, so at this point I've got everything sanded down completely and everything blown off completely. And as you can see the darker spot right there? Right there. There'll be a couple up in the corners. There and in the middle and the corner and in the corner, down in the corners, up here in the corners. Those are all pinch welds. I don't bother doing body work over pinch welds because pinch welds are a natural thing like a regular weld. You're not going to see me where somebody welds up a winch truck bed or welds up something and then they have me paint it. You're not going to see me smearing body work over all those welds. Natural things like pinch welds, especially on beds like this, I leave behind. When you go to get a bed like this brand new from a dealership, you can see those pinch welds. That's just part of the design. It's part of the appearance. It's part of what you are used to looking at. So I don't bother doing a bunch of body work over the top of them. So you will see those, but those are not dents. Those are pinch welds and those are normal. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and clean up these jams. They've already been scratched. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe them down, mask them up, and then get ready to go ahead and start shooting some primer. primed up. I went ahead and gave it enough time to get good and cured out. Now I'm gonna get some paint on this guy. Alright, so here it is the next morning, and this has had all night in a nice warm shop to go ahead and cure out. And now that that's happened, I'm going to go ahead this morning and unmask the insides of the doors, close the doors, mask up everything that I painted black yesterday, and then get some bedliner shot on everything else. Alright, this side's masked up. As you can see, I just put tape along the inside of the wheel well here. That way I could just leave this edge raw. Now this is all airtight, ready to go. Well, alright, let's go ahead and get some undercoater on this guy. Alright, now it's been a few hours and this undercoater that I sprayed on here is good and dry. I'm going to go ahead now and get this guy unmasked. Well, so there you have it. Both of these projects are finished. Let's walk around them and have a look. All right, and here we have a utility bed. I'm not sure of the year. When it showed up, it was painted in some sort of inferior enamel, possibly even latex. That was coming off in sheets. I pressure washed all of that off, sandblasted everything that needed to be sandblasted, fixed cancerous rust on both sides, this side and the other side, and on the bumper. Went ahead and painted the sides in 2K urethane, including the jambs. Didn't paint the insides of the doors or the insides of the toolboxes. That was never part of the deal, and they're not in bad shape. White toolboxes are a little better anyway. You can see your tools easier, and you can see if there's been oil spilled in there or something like that easier as well. Coated the back, the inside, the top, the front, the bumper, everything in a bed liner. You see the front's been coated here. This side's been painted, as you can tell by my reflection. And again, you can see my reflection, you know, all the way down. Again, did the full jambs, all in black. Replaced the taillight rubbers because my pressure washer ruined theirs. There's that cancerous hole that was in the bumper. That's all been repaired with fiberglass and coated. The entire inside of the bed, the tops of both sides, all been heavily coated in bed liner. This is the bed liner that I use. You can roll this stuff on with a roller that they supply, or you can spray it on if you have a gun with a wide enough tip, with a big enough circumference on the tip. And I happen to have a big old gun for this, so I just spray it on. It goes on a little more evenly, looks a little more professional. And here's those components, all finished up. I'm not even 100% sure what they go to. I've never seen the truck. This person's out of a different state, and I've painted 2 trucks for him in the past, but I'm not sure what this stuff goes to. Either way, it all got sandblasted, sanded, double primed in beige, and painted in a 2K urethane to the colors that he specified. And here's what we got coming in next. We're not doing anything with the paint job. We're just going to paint the roof cap and the fenders blue. We're going to plug the holes for the mirrors there, paint the fenders blue and the roof cap blue, and that's all we're doing on this truck. Well, that about does it for this guy. Time to get this thing tied down, get this trailer pulled out of here, and get that International pulled in here so we can get going on it. Hey, if you like this video, you should take the time to hit the like button. That's going to help me grow my channel. And if you want to see a little more what goes on around here, you should check me out on Facebook at Flash Industrial Painting. And if you want to see more videos like this, or truck auto body, or domestic auto body, or gardening, or art, or any of the many things we do around here, you might as well take the time to go ahead and subscribe, because, you know, we always got something going on. We'll see you guys around.